Welcome to the Funeral Funds Life Insurance Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Vandervate from Funeral Funds of America, and you can find us at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, Funds.com. Whether you're interested in term life, whole life, mortgage protection, annuities, disability, business continuation, or final expense life insurance, we have you covered. Our team of experienced professionals will guide you through the complexities of insurance products to help you make an informed decision. In this podcast, I'm going to be discussing how to avoid common burial insurance mistakes. So, this podcast is not only just for seniors, but also for children of seniors, or even grandchildren of seniors, or even just friends helping other friends shop for burial insurance. So, let's dive right in. I'm going to share a number of points and topics with you today. But if you're a senior starting to look for this insurance, or you think you may ever need this insurance, maybe you're younger, maybe you've just helped your parents get this insurance and you're thinking, oh boy, perhaps I should look at getting this for myself as well. Well, yes, you should. That's my first point. Start early. Consider your life insurance options when you're younger and more healthier. You'll lock in your rates. As long as you get the right type of policy, it will last a lifetime. Now, term life insurance doesn't do that. Term life insurance lasts a specific amount of time. What we would be looking at is a properly structured whole life plan, typically, or a properly structured universal life, or in some cases, an IUL, if you start early enough. But generally, we're talking whole life insurance, because you know what whole life insurance have that those other policies don't? Guarantees. I mean, your price is guaranteed, your coverage is guaranteed, and you won't outlive the plan. Guaranteed. It lasts your whole life. So just the earlier you start and secure coverage, the more affordable your rates will be, the more options you have, the more coverage you'll be able to afford. And if you get your policy early, years down the road, you're going to look at that premium and you're going to just feel so blessed that you have such a low premium, rather than waiting until you're older. The second thing I'd like to talk about in avoiding common burial insurance mistakes is a lot of people just don't assess their needs, right? So what you need to do is just evaluate your financial obligations, outstanding debts, mortgage, kind of anticipated future expenses, things like that. But I also tell a lot of seniors, you know, don't get greedy. Don't get greedy on this. In many cases, these seniors that we help have just been so busy living, they haven't, really thought about dying. And then all of a sudden they start looking around and seeing all their friends are dying, and they go, oh geez, I could be next. I need to get this insurance. So they've just been enjoying life and, just forgot, kind of just didn't really think that it would ever happen to them. And then at some point it hits home and they go, man, I'm on Social Security, disability, fixed income. There's no way, I can set aside money for this, the full 10, 15, 20,000. No way I'll be able to do that. But I can't afford to set aside just a smaller payment, a premium payment to an insurance company, that when, I get approved for this policy, I just make those payments on a monthly basis, something small that I can afford. But when I pass away, my beneficiaries, my children, my grandchildren, my family members or friends, they get this big check. And that big check is intended to take care of, burial. And that's the purpose of this podcast, right? Avoiding common burial insurance mistakes. But one thing you just need to consider is, you know, so many times we talk with folks and they want a lot of insurance, right? 75, 80 years old. Yeah, I want a lot of insurance because I want to leave a lot of money behind. And the wrong time to leave shop for, and get your hopes up about leaving a lot of life insurance is when you're like older, 75, 80, even depends how much coverage you want. Even in your 60s, it can be expensive if you're on a fixed or limited income. So I always tell people, just, hey, be realistic. We don't need to leave anybody a millionaire. We just don't want to leave them with a big financial burden. Kind of the most critical one that's going to have the most emotional impact on them, and that's arranging for the final arrangements and funeral and all that other stuff. That's the one that you don't want to leave that memory with your family. Them going, you know, I love grandpa, I love grandma, but I did not love having to pay for their $15,000 funeral with no warning just because they never took care of this. So, sometimes somebody will go, if I can't get $30,000, I'm not going to do anything at all. And we just think that's the wrong mentality, you know, because, 10,000 is better than no thousand. 15,000 is better than no thousand. 20,000 is better than no thousand. So for anybody to ever say, hey, if I can't get everything just because I delayed and waited so long and ignored this for years and years and years and decades and decades and decades, if I can't get what I want, I'm not going to do it. Well, uh, perhaps immature. I don't know. Maybe I should be more selective with my word, but there should be more of a maturity there. I think certainly that you know, you should have learned by that point in life that you can't do everything, but you can always do something. Yeah. So another common burial insurance mistake that people don't always consider is they'll just kind of buy any type of policy willy-nilly, right? And they just don't really know what they're getting. And what ends up happening is they'll see these fantastic marketing claims on television and showing up in their mailbox with junk mail and all this other stuff. And it'll say, hey, you can get $50,000 and it's only $1 for the first month. Well, those plans, that's like Globe Life and some of these other ones. Those are term life insurance. And then what they also don't tell you is that term life insurance policy is going to go up in price every 5 years and cancel once you get beyond age 80. You know, and what ends up happening then is those policies are very profitable for the insurance companies, because what ends up happening is when those prices start going up every 5 years, then the seniors can't afford those, and they can't afford the rates and the prices, and then they've got to cancel the policy. And then every last dollar that they've given the insurance company in premium, they've just donated it, because the insurance company will never have to pay out a death benefit because they're canceling the policy because they can't afford it. The other thing that can happen is you outlive the policy, go beyond age 80 years old, and you outlive the policy. And now the insurance company's kept all that money, all that term life insurance money, and it's just all profit. And now you're left with no insurance at all. So burial insurance is best served by a permanent life insurance product. If you've got a permanent need, you shouldn't use a temporary policy. And term life insurance policies are temporary policies. Whole life insurance policies are permanent. They last your whole life. That's exactly what you want to be looking at. Another mistake that people make when shopping for burial insurance and purchasing burial insurance is they just don't consider the medical underwriting. And I will tell you what, after years and years and years and years and years of doing this, um, most people that we help, they actually overestimate the impact of their health with the types of policies that we help people with. And we specialize in first day coverage. That's what we're always want to get people. First day coverage or benefits starts from the first day. There's a lot of people out there that say, hey, my health is so bad, I'm going to have to settle for one of those policies with the 2-year waiting period. Oh, and we just don't recommend that. No, they're terrible. They're terrible. Or they'll see that all that marketing on television, that $9.95 plan, that couple in the kitchen, and she goes, hey, Ben down the street, he died the other day, and he didn't have life insurance. And the husband goes, oh, we're not going to have that conversation, are we? And she goes, yes, we are. We're calling Colonial Penn. We're going to get $9.95 right now. Well, that $9.95, again, oh, that sounds so fantastic, doesn't it? Sounds tremendous. But that's $9.95 per unit. And it's, as you get older, it gets more and more expensive. It's not uncommon for that $9.95 to only buy hundreds of dollars worth of protection when you actually need tens of thousands of dollars worth of protection. And they're gonna slap you. They're gonna slap you with a 2-year waiting period. And we just don't recommend that. So I talked with somebody today and she goes, yeah, I'm not going to qualify. I've got diabetes. And I'm like, diabetes? We help people with diabetes all day long. High blood pressure, cholesterol, right? She had stents. She goes, I'm never going to be able to qualify with stents. Well, as long as the stents were put in more than 2 years ago, first day coverage, baby. Yeah. So, again, I think a lot of times people overestimate the underwriting, And by doing so, they just jump into a really terrible plan that's going to end up costing them lots of money and really put them at risk for at least the first 2 years. So let us help you out there. We're actually a broker, Funeral Funds of America. We're a life insurance broker. What that means is we work with a whole bunch of different companies. We shop them all for you. All insurance companies have different underwriting requirements. They all ask different health questions, and each one of them typically has a little niche, a little health niche that they actually approve, whereas other companies won't approve that health niche. So we are experts. Well, we are okay. Yeah, we're really awesome at helping people understand what they're going to qualify for, because that is our mission in life, is to get people first day coverage. And by doing so, a lot of people think too, here's another mistake shopping for burial insurance. They think they got to compare a whole bunch of different quotes. They got to call 10, 15 different people. You know what that ends up doing? It ends up making your phone blow up, and it's ringing every 3 minutes, and people are calling you and knocking on your door and sending you emails and all sorts of stuff. The unfortunately, kind of the landscape out there for seniors shopping for burial insurance, there's a lot of companies out there that their only job is to get your information, and then once they have your information, they sell it as a lead to an insurance agent. And it's not uncommon for an insurance agent to pay 40, 50, 60, 70 bucks for a lead with your name on it if you're the one that sent that in. And then typically they're going to have 90 days to call you up and try to sell you insurance. So if you ever wonder why your phone just starts blowing up and some of these agents are so aggressive out there, that's why they paid a lot of money, and they know that not everybody's going to buy. So they know by the time they really sell a policy, it's going to be, your lead plus a bunch of other people's. That's the actual cost. So that's why they're so aggressive. So what we can actually do for you is compare multiple companies. A lot of the agents out there, they're called captive agents. They only work for one company. That company will only allow them to sell their product. And if you don't fit into their guidelines, you're going to get sold one of their worst policies. You're going to get downgraded to a 2-year waiting period or a modified plan or something like that. You don't want that. You want first day coverage. So, yeah, just seek professional advice at Funeral Funds of America. We do this all day long. We're licensed in all 50 states. We can guide you through the process, explain complex terms, help you navigate various options that are available out there. And, we can just help you make an informed decision and avoid the common mistakes that all the other people are making out there. One other common burial insurance mistake, and this is once you actually get approved and get your policy, is people don't review or update the policy. Now, here's the thing. When you get a life insurance, burial insurance policy or anything like that, the only thing you should believe is what's written in the policy itself. Unfortunately, there's good cops out there and there's bad cops. There's good politicians, there's bad politicians. Well, maybe there's no good ones. There's good doctors and bad doctors, right? 50% of the doctors graduated at the top of the class, 50% graduated at the bottom. If you're getting brain surgery, which one do you want? You want the one at the top of the class, right? Same thing with life insurance. There are some life insurance agents out there that are inexperienced. There's some that are dishonest. There's some that you should never do business with. And, you know, you should get everything in writing too, just to show you what we do. When we're helping people, we want to get as much information as possible and make sure that we know you're going to actually qualify for the insurance. So we'll ask you health questions, underwriting questions. We want to make sure that we've got everything correct and that we've got, really 100% certainty that you're going to qualify. Our approval rate is 100% as long as we know everything that's going on medically with you or prescription wise. It's just when people forget certain things or don't flat out don't tell us, that it just doesn't go the way that we thought. That's not our fault because we know what to do to get 100%. But what we do is we once everything lines up, then we can get you an approval over the phone. We do that same day with our insurance companies, so you don't have to worry about this anymore. And then once your policy is approved, we mail you out a welcome package, includes our business info, my info as an agent, and then also includes all the information about the policy that we talked about on the phone call. We put everything in writing. And then when you get the actual policy, we want you to compare what I said, what our agent said, and what you got in your welcome package, and then compare that to the actual life insurance policy, the burial insurance policy, and you'll find out with us, they all say the same thing. But I helped, gosh, it was a couple months ago, a gentleman, he was seeing if he could get a better deal and asked about his policy. And I knew the company, I could look up the rates. He told me the rates and the coverage amount. He was a smoker. And I could tell based off the rates that he was charged the no smoker rate. Well, what did end up happening? He thought it was a good deal, even though he wanted more coverage. And it was a good deal, except for one thing. The agent, when he filled out the application, had written him down as non-smoker to get him a better rate. The life insurance company didn't catch it, issued the policy as non-smoking, and but here's the deal: we ended up replacing that policy and getting him written at a smoker rate. You know why? Because the insurance companies don't have to pay out death benefits to people that committed fraud. And when you lie on an insurance application, that's a legal contract. When you lie on it, that's considered fraud. And this gentleman could have had that policy 15 years, and if the insurance company wanted to push the fraud issue, they could say, "Hey, no, we're not going to pay this thing." So honesty is always the best policy. Review your policy once you get it, and then also just keep your policy updated. If you move anywhere or have changed phone numbers, emails, or anything like that, make sure that, in our case, make sure that we know, we'll update it in our files, but then we need to make sure that the insurance company has that information too. And that way you're getting all the billing notices and, everything that you need surrounding your policy. So there you go. That's just some, I actually went in a little deeper in depth than I thought I would here, but the information just flowed. So that's how to avoid common burial insurance mistakes. My name is Randy Vandervate, and I hope this podcast has been helpful to you. Funeral Funds of America can help you qualify for first day coverage or benefits at funeralfunds.com. That's funeralfunds.com. And our phone number is 888-862-9456. We will be blessed to help you with this in the future. Until that day comes, stay safe, take care, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.